Hello everyone, Crosstown Gamer here, and today we are going to continue our playthrough of Falling Sky, the Gallic Revolt against Caesar, number 6 in the coin series. So, I know the last couple videos were a little long, so I wanted to try to breeze through these as quickly as we can here. Just to remind everyone where we're at though, I'll be playing as a Roman player against the bot factions. And I did forget to shuffle around a couple of control markers last time, or victory condition markers. The Romans, we went down a couple because I forgot to do that as allied tribes were added to the map. And the Belgic player, I had miscounted as well. So otherwise though, this is the state of the board. We've got a pretty decent chokehold on this more eastern part of the map, and the Arverni are way up here in the north, duking it out, so we're going to let that happen. And troops continue to amass in the Mandubii region. So let's get to it. The Aedui and us are up next, and they get first pick on this card. So typically, I think the Aedui want to do the shaded or unshaded text. But since they're up first, let's see if they do the event. Are they first on the upcoming card, but not the current card? They are third on the upcoming card. I don't want to jar you by moving the camera too much. So by a sequence of play, they can use the event. Yes, they're first eligible. Is the event ineffective or capability in the final year, or no Aedui? Let's see what the card says. If Remy are they have special instructions, but if Remy are a Roman ally or subdued, then stuff can happen. Remy is a Roman ally, so this card benefits us, doesn't it? Yeah, within one region we can swap an ally with one of our own. I don't know if the Aedui necessarily want to do that. Let's see what the special instructions on their faction sheet say for this event. So special instructions. Remy. There it is. It's in here. Remy influence. Use the shaded text. Oh. Or if Remy influence and Remy are not an Aedui ally, that's true, then treat as no Aedui instead. Okay, so we're going to treat it as though no Aedui for the event. So, no Aedui? Yes. Then, battle would force loss on enemy leader, ally, citadel, or legion. They're not in a region with a... well, they are. I mean, they're in places with allies or citadels, but they can't force a loss. When they battle, they do 1 point of damage here. That's not enough to force a loss. And up here, they have 2.5 points of damage, so 2. That's also not enough to force a loss. So that's a big no. And 0 to 4 warbands on the map or rally would place citadel, ally, or 3+ pieces. They're not in a place where they can add allies to the map. I think they need, for rally, yeah, they need Aedui control to place those allied tribe markers. But could they place 3+ pieces? They get 1 for every allied tribe or citadel. If they went, here, here, and here, then they would get 4. So that's a yes, but you can only rally in non-devastated regions. So that's actually a no, because that region is devastated, so they can't rally. See, here's the condition: regions without devastation. So if they were to rally, they would only place 2 pieces, which is a bummer for them. So no. Do they have 0 to 3 resources and roll a 1 or 4? They have 8 resources right now, so no. So they will march again. So they will move from 1 region to add 1 in up to 3 regions where there are enemy allies and citadels. Yeah, I know we just did this, but it's been a few days. So they're going to march, and what that means is they're going to pick a region and add 1 hidden Aedui in up to 3 adjacent regions. So they're going to pick an origin region and then move in such a way that they don't... let's see. They're going to move... Yeah, they don't want to lose control. So we're going to leave one behind. They don't want to lose control. They're going to move one region to add 1 in up to 3 areas. So if they were to march from here, they would not lose control because they have the only pieces there. But they would only be able to move 1 thing. Down here, they don't have control. Here, they don't have control. So they could potentially move in order to go to the place with the most enemy allies or citadels, I believe, if that's correct. To those of enemies with the most allies plus citadels. I'm thinking this has 2. This only has 1. Up here only has 1. So if you look around the map, there's only 1 region that has 2 that they can reach, and that's here. So they don't have control of this region, so they can pick either moving from here or here. And whatever they pick, it looks like up to 3. I think they want to maximize... I'm going to read the event or the instructions in a sec, but I think what they want to do is they want to pick an area where they're able to move the most amount of things. So then it's a tie between there's 1 here enemy, one enemy citadel here, 0. So they could end up moving, like 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, if that were the case. I think that's what they want to do. They want to pick this region to maximize the efficiency of their actions. And first they will move, it says to move 1 hidden warband into a region, and then they never want to give up control, and they never want to give up their last one. So again, let me check the exact wording of the rulebook really quick. Okay, actually, I think it's the Cuba Libre ones that are confusing me, because they want to carry out as much of the action as possible, and the march instructions don't really say anything beyond what's listed here for march, where it just says from 1 region. It doesn't give you an actual priority of what it is. And in the instructions, it says when there's no precedent in priorities for which region you should select, it should be done randomly. So the legal actions that they can select from, regions they can select from, are going to be here, here, and here. Not from here, because they would end up removing their last piece. So those 3 regions. So I think what we're going to do is do a die roll to get the random selection that they want. And from there, we have very clear priorities on what it is they want to move. So we'll do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for their die roll. 1, 2. So down here. So they want to move into the region with the most amount of enemy citadels. So it looks like they're going to move to Provincia. See, this seems like a dumb move. But whatever. I mean, this is what it said to do. I can show you if you'd like. I turned the page already. So for March, it just says they're going to march here. They're going to move the warbands to achieve only as possible without removing the last thing. This is what the things say. First, move out of just 1 region. Select as the first destinations regions with allies or citadels. Oh, well, I thought I just read this. Oh, no, that's the destinations, not the origin region. Yeah, so it seems pretty clear just to select randomly. So we did that. We're going to move here, and we will end up moving into Provincia, which I'm not worried about it. We've got some troops down here. Provincia's fine. So that cost them 1 resource to march, and that's all they can do because they can't remove their last one, and they can't lose control. So, okay, seems like a waste of a turn, but whatever. Okay. So they marched. Then they're going to try to trade. If they battled or the resources are 0 through 9 or the Aedui plus Roman resources. Okay, the resources are 0 through 9 because they're at 7 now. And are they second eligible or trade would add 3 plus resources? Well, they're first eligible, so I don't understand how they could be second eligible if they're doing a... Oh, because it's the bots. No, but they're first eligible. But would it add 3 plus resources? Let's find out. So trade. Factions agree. So I haven't talked really much about supply lines yet, but we're going to be trading in regions with supply lines as locations. And so factions that agree to supply line or not. So the Romans can either agree to supply line or they can't. Supply line means they're going to be able to trace from Cisalpina into the board here, but they can only go through areas that are either uncontrolled or controlled by themselves. So in order to get resources through here, through Provincia, they'd have to ask me for it, and I can either agree to it or not. Similarly, to go up through here, they would need to ask the Belgic player, and I don't think that the bots ever agree to supply lines. And again, I will double check that. And so they get a bunch of resources for everything within the supply lines that contributes to this. So all their allies, all their citadels, etc. If the Romans agreed, it doubles it. And because it's 2 plus 2 instead of plus 1 for each thing. And they get a bonus to that. Well, because they moved into Provincia and they're at their winning condition, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Oh, it even tells us about supply line here. Germans never agree to supply line, by the way. So, let me just double check in the rules to see if Belgic player will agree to supply lines. I seriously doubt they will. And otherwise, they're not going to be able to get any resources because they can't reach their city with supply lines. So give me one sec. Okay, so I did look it up in the rules, and it is true, the Arverni and the Belgic player never agree to supply lines for the Aedui player. Sometimes the Aedui player will agree to transfer resources to the Roman player back and forth in certain situations, but I don't think any of those are going to apply, so we're going to say no. So back on their flowchart, they will not be able to now agree. It's interesting, though. Man, these bots are so much more complicated than the Cuba Libre ones, so I'm sorry that I keep stumbling through this. It's like I have the rules down for the game. That's easy. When you're playing 4-player, it's not so bad. It's just all these little backtracking. What I'm looking at now is if they agree to trade, at this point, they're going to trade only if. So if they say, I'm going to trade, in the hopes that they'll get those resources, and then we say no, see, now they agree. Otherwise, if we're making the decision up here, then they will say no, and they will go on to Suborn. So I think they're going to try to trade, and we're going to say no. That doesn't make sense. We already kind of bunged them up over here, so I think what we're going to do is make the decision right now to say, no, we're not going to agree to that. And so they can't guarantee that they'll get 3 resources, so they're going to move on to Suborn. They're going to do it in 1 region or within 2 regions. Oh yeah, we don't have this capability in effect, so they're going to Suborn in 1 region to place. And remember, with Suborn, they have to pay for it. 2 resources per ally, 1 per other piece, but they can basically swippy swap any 3 pieces there total to their own. So, and it's just a region with a hidden Aedui warband. So what's kind of crazy is like Gergovia down here is a citadel. I don't think they can do citadels actually. So with Suborn, yeah, it's just an ally. Yeah, not citadel. But they could do it in the Mandubii region, and that would probably be the best place for them. So they're going to do it in one region to place. I think that's actually the only region they can really do it. They can do it down here, but that is going to not give them what they want. The only other region that they're in, this is a permanent fort. This can't be removed. That's going to have places they can do this is going to be in here. So first they want to do the ally, then they want to do all the warbands, I believe. Remove allies. Yeah, and place all warbands able. Oh yeah, sorry, it's not. It's a remove, not a replace. So they're going to remove that. That was their one ally that they're able to move. Then they can remove two. They want to remove first before they place their own. So they're going to remove two Arverni warbands back to their board. And there you have it. So I know we're learning as we go. I guess that meant the Arverni had 5. Man, I should have been paying attention to this. Now it's at 4 again. It was at 5. Okay, so now the Arverni definitely have, or the Aedui definitely have control of that region. So we will place a control marker. That doesn't give them any victory points or anything, but it does allow them to do some extra stuff. So that costs 2 resources for removing this, and then 1 for each of the remaining pieces. Yep. So that's 4 resources total that they're going to pay, bringing it down to 3 resources. So now they want to do raids to get added resources. Anyway, that was their command and special ability. Now we can use the event. That's what's interesting about this is if we use the event, we can end up replacing this ally here with our own, which would not only harm the Belgic player, but also increase our stake in the game. And this would go to uncontrolled. We could do some stuff down here, but I don't think that's going to be where we want our allies. And then I don't even want to touch this region up here. I'll let them sort that out. So I think if we were going to do the event, we would do it here. The only thing we have to worry about is what about the next card? Because I see that we're first eligible on the next card. So what's the worst that could happen? Either we can remove all Germans from one Germanic region under control, within 1 of Roman control, but all of these are Belgic control right now, so that's not going to happen. So that would be pointless. But then if an enemy were to use this on us, if a legion's within 1 region of Germania, Romans are -6 resources and ineligible through the next card. That could be bad. So what we might want to do is pass to be first on the next card so we can prevent the event from happening. I think I'm going to take the chance, though, because I mean, I don't want to lose a bunch of resources and be ineligible for a while, but I think like it's just too good to pass up. Yeah, I don't like what's happening over here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the event. So we'll move our faction marker here, and it says we can replace 1 or 2 allies within 1 region. Oh, so we can do 2 allies, though. That does change things, because we want to do it in a place where there are 2. We could do it up here. Yeah. This region being devastated is not that interesting to me. So I think what we want to do is do it up there. Or we could, well, we don't have really that much going on. Oh man, decisions. Sorry. I think we'll do it here. It says replace 1 or 2 allies within 1 region of Remy, which is here, with Roman ones. So that's what we'll do. We'll go up here, take both of these, boom, boom. That makes the Belgic player go down 2 more. They are hurting now. And we get to add 2 of our own. It doesn't change our... well, the removal of them does allow our victory points to go up by 2, and then placing more doesn't add more. But now we are actually in control of this region because the Germanic tribes are the only other piece there. So then the Belgic player loses 2 more for that. So devastating for them. It's all this big push and pull. So hopefully that was the right decision. We will move on to the next card and see what it is. So Renus Bridge comes out. Next card after that is Dumnorix Loyalists. Okay, so the Belgic player now is up first on Renus Bridge. So let's take a look at their chart. Okay, Ambiorix. Yes, this is true. Ambiorix has... he's in a place with a legion and fort and pieces. Bunch of stuff. So they're going to try to battle, potentially. So they meet... So if Ambiorix meets the condition but will not battle, we're going to march instead. Let's see if he can. He can't ambush, so because all the pieces are revealed, again with that. So Ambiorix is going to deal out... He converts these into 1 rather than a half. So he can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loss points. Ooh, this is actually going to be really bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have that down to 3.5 because of the fort. And then we round down to 3. So luckily we won't lose any legions, and we can counterattack. Alternatively, we could retreat. If we were to counterattack, we would have 2 loss points, two legions, so we would end up taking 2. That doesn't seem that bad. If we were to retreat, we would have the losses, we would lose the fort, and so we would only lose 1 thing. We'd get to retreat out of there. That might be the best. In fact, we could retreat up to here to protect. So I think that, anyway, regardless, they're going to try to battle. And are they going to ambush, rampage, or enlist? And again, they need hidden warbands for ambush and rampage. So what they're going to do is enlist only where they have both Germanic and Belgic pieces, which doesn't happen on the map. So we go back here. They're going to battle in all the places at the right. Oh no, we did that. They're going to fight enemies meeting all the conditions at the left. And the first place they're going to do that is Ambiorix versus enemy with fewer mobile forces than Belgae. So they're going to go here first. And are they going to battle anywhere else? This meets the condition, but they can only do 2 loss points versus a bunch toward them. So that's not going to happen. Down here, they can do 1.5. So 1 loss. Which then would get 1 loss against them for that. And remember, so that doesn't actually meet... Oh, they need 4+ anyway to do that. But they're only going to battle where the losses are less than the enemies, not equal to. So they're not going to go there. So it looks like just the 1 spot. So now we can decide if we want to retreat, which we will. So we pack up and leave. And what that means is that our losses are halved because of the fort. So he had 7 loss points, so 3.5 goes down to 3. We are retreating, so that gets halved again, and goes down to 1.5 or 1. The fort will absorb the loss first, so because we're retreating. So we're going to go up here. We control this region, so we're allowed to do that. We're allowed to retreat into it. Let's take a look at the battle flow chart. I just wanted to make sure that, Yeah, defending. If we retreat, defender takes half losses. Oh, no. We don't get to double up on our losses here, or our halving. We only take half losses if we stand and fight from the fort, or we'll take half losses if we retreat from retreating. So we end up taking 3 points of loss regardless. If that's the case, I think we stand and fight. So we're going to stand and fight because we're taking 3 points of loss regardless. The Belgian player does 3 to us. We can just get rid of these meat shields. I want to keep the fort in case... oh man, it's just so brutal. You know what? I know I said it before. We are in fact retreating. So I just don't want them to be able to attack again and then 2 of our legions are in a world of hurt. So we're not going to stand and fight. Sorry about that. But so they end up doing 3 points of loss. We could absorb some, since we're running away, the fort absorbs the loss first, and it's a strong piece, so it needs a die roll, and it survives on a 4 through 6. So come on, big numbers. Let's see that money. 4, so that's 1 point of loss already taken care of. 3, darn. So this is the second point of loss, is going to remove our fort. And the third point of loss will come from one of our warbands, or auxilia, sorry, they're auxilia. So that was their attack, and we don't get to counterattack because we retreated. Then they're not going to fight in these other areas. They could potentially fight again in this bottom area, Sequani, but they're not going to because the losses would be equal. So they did this. Then they're going to enlist. So they will enlist. Germans as Belgae. They didn't do this, so battle. No. Yeah, they can't cause an enemy loss because there's only half a point of loss there. So no. They can march from Belgica or Germania to Roman, Aedui, or Arverni control. Ooh, they're going to march to Roman control up here. So, again, let's just double check on how marching works. For them, they... Oh, and just before I forget, the Belgae player does need to pay for their battle. They're almost out of resources. They will march. This is free. Each region flip warbands to hidden or move scouted. Then German warbands move there from there into adjacent regions. So the only place where they're able to do it is from here. And it just, yeah, German warbands move. They don't leave any behind. So they're going to move all their forces in here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we still have control, but now we have some Germans to worry about in the upcoming potentially winter. I don't know when that's coming, but okay, that was their battle. That was their enlist. Then they did command and special ability. So now it's the Arverni player. And hopefully we can get through this quickly, because otherwise it's going to be a longer video again. Vercingetorix, where Roman or Aedui have, nope. They're up in Belgica still, so no. Can the Arverni play the event? Yes, they can. Is the event ineffective? Capability in final year or no Arverni? No, it's regular. So in a Legion, they do the shaded event. If Legion is within one region. Oh, yeah, so our worst nightmares came true. I think they're going to try to do the event. So this is no. They don't have the auto 1 through 4 because they don't have the symbol here. So they have to roll a die, and on a 1 through 4, they will do the event and screw us big time. of course. So we get -6 resources. So now we're down here with the plebes. And we're ineligible through the next card. So we're going to remain ineligible. Ugh, that sucks. Okay. So they did the event. That was that. And now we will resolve the eligibility change. Remember, we are going to stay here because we are ineligible. The next card comes out. Dumnorix Loyalists. So the Aedui player is the only player, and they're first eligible anyway, which means usually that it's probably either a good event for them or they want to prevent something bad from happening. Then we have Circumvallation. Okay, so that's going to be the next couple of cards. I'm going to stop the video here, but just to recap, we've lost out on lots of resources. Everyone's kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty, so either we're going to have to start doing raids or seizing to get more resources, or pray for the winter card to come up since no one's at their objective anymore, so that way we can hopefully get some more resources there. We want to get resources now more than ever, or the winter card to come up now more than ever, because A, we're really close to victory as it stands, and B, even if we don't succeed, well, we can't succeed because we're solo player. Again, we have to wait till the end, but we would be able to move this one toward adulation, and we get a bunch more, potentially a bunch more legions to go onto the map, which would be excellent. So, yeah, I think that's it. I'll, again, double check and make sure I didn't make any huge glaring errors, but I don't think so. We're finally getting a handle on this and able to move through a couple of cards each time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, go ahead and continue watching, but please point out any rules mistakes that you see, or if my interpretation of the rules is faulty, let me know. Okay, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you next time.